What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday, December 28th, almost near the end of the month. I have got a lot to talk to you guys about. We've got Bitcoin price action moving up and down. We've got things happening in the Ethereum world, things happening in the DeFi space, XRP getting delisted from the markets, from different exchanges, and many other things to talk about. So today, what we're going to do is, first of all, open up with Bitcoin. All right. So let's start off with BTC and its local price action. So we're on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. The one thing that I see happening in the BTC market right now is it seems like we are developing a range, and this kind of ranging environment, very hard to determine if we're going to just break straight up from here or if we're going to roll over to the downside and maybe catch some more support at the lower levels. Okay, so I think at present moment, we have a decent amount of support right in this area right here, mid 26,000 level. Below that, we have this weekly open marker, which is 26,250. That's probably the most important level. If you've been watching my videos for a while, the one thing that you'll recognize is I always like to map out the weekly opens and the monthly opens, and sometimes even the intra-week opens and lows of the candles, like you see right here, the Thursday open and lows, right? So weekly opens I always map out because they help me understand exactly where the bots and the algos might be defending price at key levels, okay? So yesterday when we had the new weekly open right here, you could see price right off the bat, okay, took off, came down a little bit, put in basically a double top, and now we're kind of ranging in this environment right here. Now in this range, it's very hard to determine exactly where we could go, but right now we know that we are below the pivot right here. This is a daily pivot. So generally you can look at this and say, okay, it seems like price has been hovering around this pivot for a little while. More than likely that pivot is not going to be helping us in terms of using that pivot as support and pushing off. More than likely, it seems like we're slowly breaking that pivot. And right now, if you look in closely, we're kind of rejecting the pivot from the bottom side up. So if we're rejecting that pivot, it's quite possible that we head down further towards lower support levels. First one being this one right here, 26,250, the weekly open. Below that, I have some very important markers that I've mapped out that you can also find, I think on my Twitter feed, I think I put this up on my Twitter feed. Make sure y'all follow me, _alpha trades right there. All right. I marked this out right here on my Twitter feed. I said, if you pay attention to this yellow line, right, it's only about 4.5% down from where we are right now. But there's a few different things that happen right around that yellow line. Okay. So if you pay attention to this dotted line, and I'm going to make this a different color and so y'all could see better, and let's make it bigger. So if you look at this blue dotted line, right, you can see this was the previous resistance in terms of the ceiling that price was being capped at right there. And once we sort of broke up past that, well, we haven't quite retested that same blue line as support yet. Now, it's not always necessary that previous resistance levels like this have to get retested as support, but it does help when you do test them as support and then you start pushing up and off like that, okay? But the reason why I'm paying attention to this key area right here is there's a confluence of multiple factors that might help support price. Number one, we have this yellow marker, okay? Why is that yellow marker important? Because that was the mini consolidation period that we had right here before we made that big push towards $28,400 way the heck up here, right? We have yet to sweep that yellow line and take the liquidity from people who bought long right here. Now, if we do that, this might take up a good amount of long positions in terms of getting stopped out, and we find support right here, and we might be able to push off, okay? So that yellow line, which is around $25,600 or so, coincides with a couple other things. Number one, this blue line right here, as y'all can see, Okay, so that's the previous resistance, now maybe turning into support, meeting that yellow line, basically where we are right now. Additionally, we have the pivot right here around that same area, which is 25,500. Okay. And then on top of that, we have this big ascending trend line from way the heck back here around 11th of December, supporting price all the way up, right? So it's possible that maybe we come and dip down here in the next, I don't know, 24, 48 hours, somewhere around here, where we hit the pivot, we hit the blue line, and we hit this yellow line right here, and this big ascending trend line. And then from this area, then we bounce off. Okay. I really like to see where multiple areas of confluence from support from either previous trend lines like this that you're seeing right here, the previous resistance line, the blue line, the previous ascending trend line right here, the support and area of liquidity. I like to see many factors like that line up if I'm going to get into an opportunity to go long. Okay. Now, just FYI, I'm already long, but if I'm going to add long to my position anywhere, it's probably right here. Let's just say we don't come down there, right? Maybe the bulls are really strong and they front run that pivot right here, okay? And they just front run it right around this weekly open. Well, this will also be another longing opportunity if you are interested in that. But I'm just giving y'all areas of opportunities where you can potentially think about going long if you choose to do so. Again, not investment advice, just my thought process. Okay. If you guys want more information analysis like this on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis, our Discord channel, this is the private Discord channel with all these locked channels right here, is currently available for our Advantage membership at a 50% discount. So if you use this code right here, Alpha50, as y'all can see, right, you'll only be paying about $49 per month for the first month right here. So if you buy this Advantage subscription, you'll get access to our private Advantage community right here on the Discord side, and you get access to all these locked channels as paying members. And you can see clearly in the Bitcoin analysis channel, I put up a ton of analysis of all the different things that I'm seeing in the market. A lot of this stuff is private only for Advantage members, okay, only for paying members. And that's because I spend a majority of my time, my energy, devoting my time to my paying members. All right. And, if you're interested in something like that, getting Bitcoin analysis every few hours in terms of updates, 2 videos a day. So the video that you're seeing right now is only available every couple of days that I provide for free on YouTube. But if you want, you can join the private membership and you'll get 2 videos every single day, the US morning hours and the US evening hours. So whether you're in Asia or Africa or Europe or even in the US, you'll basically have 2 different sets of videos updated through the day. Okay. But anyway, you can go to our website, thealphatrades.com, hit the products page, and buy our subscription membership. So aside from covering BTC, right, we cover a lot of other things. Okay, here's a couple of trades that we were in the past several days and weeks. We are currently in an ETH trade. We have an average of about 594. All right, so we're in an ETH long position right here. We're currently up about 21% in that trade. Mind you, we've already been trading up and down ETH for several months, but the current trade that we're in from about 594. Okay, Theta is our other trade right here. We closed out Theta, and as you can see, our entry point was about 0.705. Currently, the prices are around 153. We sold right around $1.05, $1.34 right here, and then about $1.60 up here. So all in all, we averaged about a good 90% in terms of our gains. And you could see right here, these are our position updates. This is where I update my Advantage community on everything that I'm trading on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, so people can see exactly what my P&L is on every single trade basis, okay? We don't just talk about winners, we talk about losers. As you can see, I have my losers right there, loser right there, right there, right there, and right there. But we also have big winners, right? We have a plus 18% gain in ETH, plus 5% gain in FTT. Theta got us about 91 to about 100% profit. Trading Bitcoin has yielded about 6 to 10% over the last several days. So all in all, we've been doing pretty phenomenally well in the market. And it just goes to show that our community provides a ton of information, whether it's the Bitcoin trading section, whether it's the altcoin trading section, or the DeFi trading section. We're always active, always posting analysis, always posting things that other traders are trading or I'm trading myself. All right. We have over 100 members, and there's a constant engagement of information pretty much at all times. So whenever you want to hop in the chat, whether it's the altcoin chat right here, the DeFi chat, or the Bitcoin chat, you can always find someone to talk to. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the higher time frames, right? On a 4-hour basis, I think, again, it's kind of clear that in this area, it's a bit of a chop, but you could also make the argument that this is maybe a developing pennant. Okay. So if this is a developing pennant kind of like this, right, we're kind of looking for more volume and a potential breakout to come out of this pennant. I don't know exactly if this pennant is going to break out right away. Maybe it breaks out today or tomorrow. But here's the thing. I generally become much more cautious right around month end. Why? Because if you look at this tweet that I put out last month, right, November 30th, as you can see, I told everyone that right around this area, okay, when we pinged this big candle on November 30th, so let me show y'all exactly where we were. All right. So we were, let me see, let's turn this off. We were right here. This was the candle that we had closed out right around November 30th. And I stated that, hey, we have, the beginning of the month coming. The last several months, we've seen some wonky price action going into a new month. I closed out some of my position right here in terms of my longs, and then I re-added on the way down right here, and we went long once again. Okay. So the point of all this is we are once again coming up to the end of the month, right? We have the end of the month coming. We also have the quarter end coming, and we have the yearly end coming. All things are going to culminate right around December 31st, and I think it might bring about some volatility. Now, it's not necessary that it has to be downside volatility, because historically, there's been other occasions where the market has not really done a whole lot. As you can see on October 1st, kind of just broke down a little bit down, but then pushed back up over the next several days. Even over here, we had a down day on the 1st of November, but then pushed back up. But generally, right, over the last several months, what we've seen is pretty much at the beginning of the first day or first couple days of every single month, we've seen a decent amount of volatility, especially a little bit of a pull to the downside. Now, that pull could be because there might be rotations happening in the market. Algos and bots are just inherently trained to be able to take some money off the table, sell some of their asset, take profit, move money over from one asset to another. Or maybe just go into cash. Maybe you go into protection mode, right? We don't really know. But the point is that it's happened many times over the past 6 months, and it's probably going to be happening at the end of this month, right? Again, the probabilities are high. I cannot definitively say that it has to happen, but the probabilities are high. So I urge you guys to be careful right around 31st of December, January 1st, that time frame, and keep an eye on exactly where the market is, where there are some untested support and resistance levels. And again, you can do so and understand how you identify untested support and resistance levels by joining our community, right? So yeah, I think at present moment, one of the untested support and resistance levels is that area. Like I said, $25,600. Now, again, it's not necessary that we have to go down here, but it's possible that we bounce off this very nicely and then start making our way back up at the beginning of 2021. Okay. Let's see here. What else we got to talk about? By the way, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Please do hit the thumbs up. It really helps bring our ranking in terms of SEO, in terms of people watching our videos. And it really just helps out our community from being recognized as, in my opinion, some of the best content providers in the crypto space. I know we don't have a huge brand or a huge recognition, but I like the fact that we kind of keep it a little bit low key. And the reason being, once you get a little bit too flashy on Twitter or too flashy on YouTube, you start to become more of like a marketer than an actual trader or an analyst, right? And I'm really not about that life. I really like to keep my community generally niche, but I do like to make sure that we have people coming that are wanting to learn, wanting to trade crypto, wanting to understand exactly how the crypto markets trade and function. And those are the kinds of people that we want. We don't want the people who are just looking for a buy or sell signal. Okay. That's not what our community is about. We definitely do not provide financial advice. But what we do provide is a lot of analysis in the crypto markets, trades that we're moving in and out of on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, how we go about analyzing the market. Okay. So the one thing I'll tell you what's on my mind right now is XRP. Okay. I think everybody thinks that XRP is going to definitely bounce back up and it's going to start pushing back higher. I don't know if it's going to or not, but what I do know is the SEC is a agency not to be messed with. So when they're coming after you and when you see a big price drop like this, something is clearly wrong. Okay, not only is something wrong, you may not be able to recover from something being so wrong because here's what's happening. Coinbase, they said, given the SEC's recent action against Ripple, all XRP books have been moved to limit only, and Coinbase plans to fully suspend trading XRP on Tuesday, January 19th. OKX recently just delisted XRP. Kraken is also delisting XRP. So what do you think is going to happen to XRP when all of these exchanges are going to start delisting? That price is probably going to start crashing more and more because people are going to want to get out. Okay, so the one thing on my mind is XRP because I believe that it is very possible that you might witness one of the first big projects, the multi-million, multi-billion-dollar projects like XRP, probably going to zero or pretty damn close to zero. And you're going to be really surprised, but it may happen to XRP. Okay, so in my opinion, if you're looking for any trade, it ain't an XRP. Okay, I don't even think you should be shorting it because you may not actually get instruments to actually short it because so many other exchanges are delisting it. Okay, so just be careful is all I'm going to say. The other thing that I want to talk about is altcoins, right? Altseason is a big discussion that everybody's having. We talk about, Bitcoin dominance pulling down a little bit, Bitcoin price just ranging. What does that mean for altcoins? Well, lucky for you, I made a long post on TradingView talking about Bitcoin dominance, still pushing, but when will alt season start? So if you go read this post right here, I talk about a couple things. All right, so I'm going to quickly recap this. Number one, let's go to Bitcoin dominance right now. All right, so Bitcoin dominance is currently right around 70 points, right? So 70%. Okay, guess when it was also 70% back in the day? It was way the heck back here when Bitcoin topped right around December 7th, 2017. I think it was like different exchanges, I think topped, maybe a day or two after, but it's somewhere around, the middle of December, let's just say. So we're coming up right around that same area, okay, just like we did back here. But guess what? We've also done it right here around September 2019. So what does that mean? So let's go back and revisit some things. Okay, so let's go back to September 2019 and what happened then. Well, here's what happened in September 2019. Right here, okay, is when we had that big drop in BTC and dominance right here was also very high. So when dominance is high and price is dropping, that just means that altcoins are selling off much harder than BTC. Because remember, dominance is nothing but a ratio between market cap of Bitcoin versus market cap of everything else but Bitcoin, meaning all other altcoins. So when you see the disparity of the dominance right here, topping right around 70, 72 points, and price dumping right here in September 2019, that's not necessarily saying that dominance is topping and price is topping. That's just saying that, hey, it looks like altcoins are selling off much harder. Now here you have a different structure, right? you've had a pretty big parabolic run in Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is also coming to an area of key resistance in terms of dominance, and it's also gone up so much in price. Additionally, what we have is things like ETH BTC. So I'm going to use ETH BTC in this analysis as, let's just say, a proxy for everything related to Altseason. Why? Because Ethereum is the altcoin, is the biggest altcoin in the crypto sphere, right? Second to BTC in terms of market cap is Ethereum. So when Ethereum starts to move to the upside, well, more than likely, you're going to start seeing dominance being taken away from Bitcoin price and Bitcoin dominance, right? That means ETH is going to start getting some of the money flows. And if ETH starts to get those money flows, meaning it's going to start moving up, well, more than likely, altcoins are going to start moving up. So here we are in 2020, right? We're bouncing off this key level right here. Well, guess when else we did that? Okay, we did that right here when Bitcoin dominance and price topped in 2017. When Bitcoin hit 20,000 and the dominance was right around that 72 point level that I just showed y'all. Let me pull up this chart right here so y'all can see. Okay, see right there, as you can see, all right? ETH BTC bottomed right around the same time when Bitcoin dominance and price topped. And then it just went parabolic for a good month. Okay. What happened in that same time frame when ETH hit this key support right here? Well, let's go to the price. All right. Let's go to where we were. Here is when Bitcoin topped, middle of December. 20,000. And where was ETH? It was right here around $820. It dumped a bit all the way down almost 50% in a span of like 2 or 3 days. And then it just went on a parabolic tear. It basically went from $850 all the way to about $1,400. See, that to me is pretty epic because what we're seeing right now is almost the same similarities. We're seeing dominance come to a high. We're seeing price come to a high, and we're seeing ETH BTC come to a key support level. If you look at this blue box, this is 2017. This is also 2020 now, same support area. So if we are supposed to start alt season, okay, and again, I don't believe that we're going to start it right away or this is the beginning. I'm just saying if we are going to start alt season, it would be ETH more than likely starting to lead the market. And what you want to see from this ETH BTC ratio that you're looking at right now is a nice movement propelling to the upside. When you start seeing movement like this from ETH, well, that's where you might have the beginning of the alt season coming. So those are my thoughts, right? I talk about Bitcoin dominance compared to ETH BTC, but I also talk about some potential targets for ETH in here. I talk about maybe exactly where BTC can top at. I covered this also in a previous post that I made regarding price action in Bitcoin. If it starts to go parabolic, right, how high can it go? And why would it go so high? So here's my thought process on that. So let's just say ETH BTC is not bottomed, and we might have another big leg coming in Bitcoin, which, to be honest, I think there might be another leg in Bitcoin remaining before we have that alt season, because Bitcoin is a commodity style asset, meaning it moves like commodities. It has these reflexive abilities. Once it gets going, it really just goes for the final sort of blow off top movement. And I don't think we've seen that yet. So where exactly, if we do get that blow off top, how could it come? Well, I think around this area, right, we might have a mini consolidation for the next couple of days. And maybe around the beginning or middle of January, we might start making this final wave up. Now, this style of final wave is based on a couple different mechanics of how markets operate, based on these ascending sort of sloping environments where markets start to go from trending to bullish to overly bullish to completely parabolic. So if you look at this trend line right here, right, look at the angle on this trend line. Okay, it's not straight up, and it's not just flat. It's a little bit more of like a I don't know, 45-degree angle or something, right? This one right here, a much more of a steeper angle, right? And obviously that makes sense because Bitcoin became much more parabolic right around the middle of December. But has it become hyper parabolic yet, like it did in 2017? I don't think so. But I do think it's coming. And I think it's going to be something like this, where it might be a blast off and you might just see parabolic movement in the span of like 1 to 2 weeks. Because the thing about parabolic movements is it does not give many people a chance to start thinking. Okay, because thinking means you have much more weight to the upside of retail just buying. But what you want is retail to not be able to buy right here or right here or right here. You want them to FOMO up here, or FOMO higher. And that's how you get that parabolic advance. And I believe that's coming. And I believe if it does come, first target might be 35,000. Second target might be $50,000. Okay. So if we get those targets done, let's just say we do get that parabolic movement. Well, once again, guess what's going to happen? ETH and other altcoins are probably going to range. They might come down. ETH might come down all the way to about $650. Maybe it doesn't go down that deep. Maybe it just comes back to 700 or 675. And then once that final parabolic advance in BTC is done, then I believe the altcoin, the alt season will start. But the interesting thing about my post right here that I made is once Bitcoin topped in December 2017, I want to show you guys this real quick. Okay. So let's go to this, right? BTC topped right here around December 2017. So let's just say 17th or 16th of December right here. It proceeded to drop almost 50% over the span of 1 month from middle of December to about middle of January. And in that same time, when it was losing the price and dominance, that is when ETH just went bananas, okay, over here. As you can see in that same time span, you can see middle of December to the middle of January. Same thing happened with altcoins. When Bitcoin started dropping, that money rotated over to altcoins. See, I believe that we might be in a similar cycle. I don't know if definitively we're going to play it the same way, but it seems like we're kind of showing signs like we're about to do the same thing. So I believe we might be a little bit early to call it alt season, but I do think that it may be coming, and it might be coming soon. But before that, we need to see exactly what happens with BTC. We need to see how high it goes, or if it just tops off right here, what happens thereafter? Do we dump from here? Then does Ethereum and other altcoins start leading the market? We don't know. But I'm going to be very patient in this market. I'm especially going to be very careful about what's happening at the beginning of the month, which is potential rotations that I spoke about. And I'm going to be paying attention to specific altcoins. Number one, ETH is my number one pick going into the alt season. Link, I'm paying close attention to, but it's kind of been a disappointing coin. Okay, it's kind of just been putting in lower highs and lower highs, for the last month or so. But then there's other altcoins like Wi-Fi that I've been paying attention to. Right, Wi-Fi has obviously head and shoulders structure, but it has not completely broken down. But if it does start breaking down, these are the levels that I'll be watching, right? 15,600, 11,100, and way the heck down here around $7,000 or $6,000. I'm not saying that it has to definitely go down here, but it is possible that it can. And if it does, these will be the levels I'm watching. The other altcoin that I'm paying attention to is DOT. Okay, I talked to my members about DOT way the heck back here around October. I even told them about DOT multiple times here in November and December. Some of my members got into the DOT trade and they're doing fantastically well in this trade. Some of them are up a good 25, 30%. Some are up 50 to 60%. So kudos. But this is, again, another project that I'm watching very closely. Okay. So you have my thoughts on Bitcoin. You have my thoughts about what's potentially going to happen at month end. I talked to you about the potential of alt season coming up, but maybe it may not come up yet until Bitcoin parabolically advances. And then you have my thoughts on ETH BTC being the potential leading ratio of maybe leading and starting the alt season. Okay. So make sure y'all hit the thumbs up on this video if you like it, folks. And again, join our Advantage membership if you want access to my trades that I'm taking, if you want access to my analysis, if you want access to 2-a-day videos in the market every single day. Because we work hard in this community. We provide a ton of content for our Advantage members. Um, and of course, obviously there's going to be, the membership price with it. But I think this price right here is more than reasonable for all the analysis that I provide in the DeFi area, altcoins area, the Bitcoin trading area, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, folks. All right. Y'all take care. Make sure you set your stops, take profit, don't get greedy in the market. Make sure you read my analysis right here in TradingView. Hit the thumbs up on my video, hit the thumbs up right here on my video. But yeah, that's it. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of the week, and I'll catch up with y'all soon. Cheers.